I'd like to introduce you guys to Bubbles. He is my sister and brother-in-law's cat, and I thought it would be the perfect time to introduce him to you guys. As you guys can probably tell, I had a really great time watching this movie. Before we started today's video, I wanted to give a huge thank you to Italia Film Middle East and Walt Disney Studios for inviting me to the Marvels premiere. It was my first Disney premiere, and I am beyond grateful and really happy that I could attend, so thank you guys so much. The Marvel stars Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel. Without going into any spoilers, a basic gist of what happens in the movie is that all three of these characters' powers become strangely intertwined, and I can't tell you why because that would be going into spoilers, but it creates this sort of Freaky Friday dynamic in the movie, which I personally thought worked really well. As you guys know, a year ago I reacted to Miss Marvel and it changed my life because it was my first time seeing Muslim representation done right, and those videos did really well on the channel. And if you guys are one of those viewers, thank you guys so much. I really hope you guys are excited to hear my thoughts on the continuation of Miss Marvel's story. We all know that the MCU has had its ups and downs this past year, especially with things like Secret Invasion. And so I went into the Marvels very cautious, I'm gonna be honest. I was excited to see Kamala, but I knew that this movie had a lot going against it. And let me tell you, I really had a good time. By far, I think one of the strongest aspects of this film is the development of the character of Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, played by the amazing Brie Larson. In the first Captain Marvel movie, I didn't actually enjoy her character, and I think most of the rest of the world didn't enjoy her either. But here, Nia DaCosta as a director really gives Brie Larson the time and the energy to make Captain Marvel's character a lot more human, and in doing so makes her a lot more relatable. So our protagonist in this film is someone that you immediately attach to, and in a lot of ways you feel bad for her and you want her to succeed. Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau really elevates the character from where she was in WandaVision. I feel like WandaVision really gave her character a cool starting point, and here it delves deeper into her relationship with Captain Marvel and why there's an issue there, because in WandaVision I was really confused, wondering they clearly don't see eye to eye, but why is that? And this movie gave us answers to that in a really compelling way that again made me feel really bad for Monica. It was this tug of war between these two characters, and watching them develop not only as friends but as family was really cool in this film. And I can see the comments starting now. Iman Vellani was the best part of this movie. Miss Marvel was the best part of this movie. Her family were the best parts of this movie. I can't even deny it. It was so fun seeing this Muslim girl be a superhero. And it wasn't just the representation aspect. They took all of the best parts of that show and flooded it into this film. And if you think Kamala and her family are only in a small piece of the film, you're wrong. They're in the entire thing, and I was so happy to see that. I was totally expecting them to be in the first 5 minutes and then to be thrown out, but they were integrated into the story because Nia DaCosta as a director, thank God, understands that Kamala is nothing without her family, because that is how Muslim households and families work. And so to have them, be present throughout the movie worked so well, and I really enjoyed it. If I could describe this movie in one word, I would say it was so fun and enjoyable to see a movie that is an hour and 40 minutes, it's really not long, delve so crazily into a million different topics all at once. Now, some people may say that's messy, and I agree, it is messy at points, but for someone like me who was going into this movie with excitement, I was just never bored. It was an hour and 40 minutes of just straight action and chaos. And when the movie wanted to do those emotional scenes, which again, I won't spoil, in my opinion, it really hits well because we've already gotten this development in WandaVision, in Miss Marvel, in the first Captain Marvel. Now, of course, does that mean you have to do homework? Not necessarily, but I do think you will enjoy it much better if you do watch WandaVision and if you do watch the first Captain Marvel, which I'm assuming everybody who sees this one would have done that anyways. There's also another aspect of this film that I really want to talk about, and it's about a sequence of cats. And I can't talk about it, I don't want to spoil, but if you see the trailers, you probably know by now that there are a lot of cats in this movie, and they are utilized really, really well. There is a sequence in this film, which is one of my favorite Marvel sequences that I've ever seen. It was absolutely hilarious. My entire theater was roaring with laughter. It was really great, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. But go into this movie wanting to laugh. If you go in wanting to laugh, you're going to laugh at all the jokes. It's going to be great. You're going to have a good time. In terms of how this movie relates to the MCU, I posted a video last night on my Instagram saying, if you are a fan of Marvel, go see this really quickly because big developments will be spoiled on the internet, and unfortunately they are already everywhere on the internet. I am not going to be one of those people that spreads it around because something occurs in this film that's so big. Everybody was screaming. I really mean it. Everybody was screaming, and I really think you guys should go see this as soon as possible. My only critique of the movie is because they are switching powers, you sometimes feel like the film can be very messy, but that is the point. So it's messy on purpose. And so I really feel like you should go into this movie knowing that it's going to be chaotic. This movie is chaotic, and it is chaotic on purpose. And if you are into that, I think you're going to have a really great time. I would give The Marvels a solid 8.5 out of 10. It's not necessarily a 9, but it's not an 8 either. So it's in that in-between stage, but to me, it's a really strong Marvel film, and it deserves whatever hype it's getting. It is not doing well right now in terms of box office projections. The reviews are really mixed. I personally strongly disagree, but again, I may or may not be biased because I am a Miss Marvel fan, but even if she wasn't in this film, it would still be a really chaotic, fun experience. And I really like that. And so did the rest of my theater. So I really hope you guys do check this movie out. Do not let this movie flop. I am absolutely begging you guys. This movie deserves the hype, and we need our representation. If our representation doesn't do well, we're not going to get more representation. I love you guys so much. Thank you again to Italia Film and Walt Disney Studios for inviting me to the debate premiere. I really appreciate it. You guys are stars. And of course, if you guys watch this video, I love you all so much. I love you 3000, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.